Hey everybody. Hope you're all having a fine Saturday so far. But hey, I'm JTB. I'm gonna be playing some Resident Evil 4 for you guys for the next, hopefully, less than an hour and 40 minutes. But let's go ahead and jump right into this. So let's start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Resident Evil 4.
And if you didn't know, this is Resident Evil 4. I mean, kind of announced it for you right there. But what's up? So this is Resident Evil 4. This is a new game professional speed run. So what it pretty much is we start the game with just the stuff, the normal pistol and stuff. No like special weapons or anything like that you would see New Game Pro. Or in New Game Plus. And then professional, it's not just a fancy term that describes us speedrunners. It's actually the name of the category or the difficulty itself. So this game has like a dynamic difficulty depending on how you do. Like you kill enemies, difficulty goes up. You die a lot, difficulty goes down. Professional difficulty just locks the difficulty to the highest it can be. So what that means is you got a lot of enemies that are like super aggressive. A lot of enemies super aggressive like that. Me taking some more damage, both on their end and our end. Pretty much, it's pretty hard. There's a lot to talk about in this game. Like this game is all about manipulating enemy movement, and it's I'm gonna do my best to like talk about every single little thing that I can, or at least the important things. But in reality, like I can go on like for probably an entire day just talking about this whole entire game. So let's kick things off. This is the chapter 1. Chapter 1 takes place in this village during the day. This is kind of like the first gatekeeper of the run, I guess, despite only being like a couple minutes in. Essentially what we gotta do there is kill X amount of enemies to trigger a cutscene that I skipped right there to get to this next area. What we did there was we did some weird movement to get the enemies outside to group up for those 2 grenades that we threw, which actually kills the exact amount of enemies. So if I had just missed one enemy, I would have to probably just pull out like my shotgun or something and kill one guy. Or if this was like actually doing speedrun attempts, that's a reset right there. So yeah, like I said, this game's divided up into chapters. Chapter 1 is this village during the day. Chapter 2 is the village at night. There's 3 like distinct environments in this game, and each environment also kind of represents a different kind of skill to get through it, or difficulty to get through it. Chapters 1 and 2 of the village are essentially like very hard on mechanics and not getting hit. Later on in the game we'll get a lot of like safety, like backup healing items and stuff, but for the first 2 chapters there's really like no room for error. So it's a pretty high combination of RNG and just your own player skill. And we'll see that too, kind of the example of RNG once we get to the end boss for this chapter. So that concludes chapter 1-1. Now we're on to 1-2. Fortunately, Leon loses his fancy jacket, so we're never going to see that again, unfortunately. And you see that I'm baiting a lot of these enemies into attacks by running up to them. They have a kind of like this range that they'll attack you at. That's really predictable once you've played the game a lot. So oftentimes I'll run up to an enemy if I know that I can't run past them, and I'll just bait their attack out and then run past them, you know, while they're recovering from that attack. Certain other enemies though, we can just run straight past no matter what, like that pitchfork guy. His attack is so slow and the reach on it is it's like a long reach as opposed to like a short range thing. That he'll pretty much never hit us unless we're just standing still like 5 feet in front of him. So for those of you who've never played Resident Evil 4, I really doubt there's no one who hasn't played Resident Evil 4 watching this right now, given the game is so old and how many times it's been ported. Pretty sure this is like the most ported game of all time. Pretty different from what you expect from the classic Resident Evil games. Pretty big change in how you control your character, as well as the pacing of the game itself. Puzzles in this game are pretty insignificant. There are still puzzles, but they're still super easy, but they're not like on the same level that you would expect from the other classic Resident Evils. I want to point out too that I'm picking up these treasures at random spots. Due to this being a new game, we don't have any money at the start, which we do need to buy you know, certain weapons throughout the run. So we'll actually change our inventory quite a lot to reflect what is best needed for that specific chapter. And then grabbing those treasures, you know, gets us that money that we need for that as well. So this is kind of like a good example of enemy movement in RNG. This bald guy can take a couple different ways to me. Okay, and he's gonna run straight at me. Oh, that was bad. So what was supposed to happen there? I was supposed to shoot that guy that was running at me in the head and then kick him to get all the enemies kind of like staggered so I can run past them. Alternatively, he can not run at me and just kind of stay on the side of that little lane or road or whatever it is. And I can just run past all the enemies without any worries. But yeah, like I said, first few chapters are pretty heavy on, like I cannot take any damage now at this point. I'm actually gonna do this so my inventory does not get messed up. There's a couple herbs I can pick up in the next chapter that are a little bit out of the way, but really you're not trying to take any damage at all. This is our merchant. This is our weapon supplier throughout the run. He's the guy that we sell all these treasures to and pick up stuff. So what I did there is I sold those 3 treasures that we've been collecting to pick up a rocket launcher to use for a later upcoming boss. And a lot of this too, you know, I'm shooting these like random nests in the tree, these random barrels to pick up grenades and stuff. You know, these things are stuff that we're going to be using much later in the run, and these are just the most convenient places to have them. So there's a lot of planning as far as when you do the speedrun this game on, you know, which items you want to pick up, which items you need, which ones you can avoid. You know, without sacrificing too much time. For example, in this next area that we're going to go into, one of these crows, we can actually shoot that middle one, has a flash grenade that he'll drop when we shoot him. Some runners actually shoot him for that, for use later on, but personally I don't because I have a different method for getting through those rooms. Also, shoutouts to Boulder QTEs. What better way to make your game super scary than have a big old boulder chasing us. So this is supposed to be kind of a scary game, at least once. Oh nice, he actually pointed at me. Most of the time that guy will just run at you and you have to take like this weird path around him. But that's convenient to have him point at me so I can just run straight past him. But yeah, so yeah, this game is supposed to be scary. We make it look like a complete joke. This boss up here was pretty spooky when I played this for the first time. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this herb in here. I normally would never do this, Just one. Gotta be marathon safe. So this is the end of chapter 1-3, and every chapter kind of has a boss. Almost every chapter has a boss that you have to deal with. This guy is Del Lago, which you're gonna see in just a second. So this is Del Lago. He's towing us along, taking us for a nice little. Whoa! How did that just happen? All right, so that kind of example. Del Lago is one of the worst parts of the speed run. The dude is super random. You take these random patterns. He can dive at random times, which looks like he's not going to here. I don't know what's going on with my controller right now because it's like making Leon aim in the weirdest directions, but I'll take it. Okay, so he dived right there. So Del Lago is one of the most reset parts of this game because he can dive at random times, and depending on when he dives, it could just lose you, free like 20-30 seconds, 10 minutes to a hour and 30-minute run. So a lot of times we just want to reset this guy to get the best pattern. There's been some talk of being able to manipulate what he does. I don't know it just yet, unfortunately. But he should die right here. There we go. As long as we're not getting hit, that's the best part. Alright, we killed Del Lago. So that concludes chapter 1. Now we're into chapter 2. You can see it's nighttime. Game got a little bit more scary. But we're still in the village. We just passed the lake right there. And what you just saw there was a guy's head explode into a bunch of parasites. Pretty typical in the game like this. We're just gonna pretend like we didn't even see it and just run right on by. So the lore of this game, I know there's Resident Evil lore, by the way, is that all these villagers aren't zombies, but they're being controlled by this parasite called Las Plagas. There's a cutscene coming up that we're gonna skip, but it introduces like the big bad of the game, and he's like not really mind controlling all of them, but kind of like they have some free will. It's kind of hard to explain. They have some free will, but he can control like their actions and stuff. But they all got those little parasites in them, and at this point, some enemies, if we need to kill certain enemies, can sometimes have those parasites show up, and they turn into pretty much like a bullet sponge. And they can also kill you too, which is even worse. Gonna run past all these dudes. Also did not point this out. So right now I'm playing on 60 FPS, and it's more than just making the game look great, because 60 FPS actually changes how we play this game a lot. This game was originally released on 30 FPS, and if anyone's seen my SGDQ run from a few years ago, that was also done on 30 FPS. 30 FPS allows you to do a lot of like out of bounds glitches, like that at the waterfall that we were just at. We can actually jump down and just run out of bounds and avoid all those enemies that are right there. By the way, we just killed a boss. Good job. But 30 FPS lets you do a whole bunch of like glitches and stuff, but 60 FPS does not. In fact, the hit detection, I believe it's that. Maybe I'm just spouting just buzzwords at this point, but anytime you try to do the out of bounds in 60 FPS, you just get forced back in bounds, unfortunately. There are still some glitches though that we're going to be able to do in this run, but other certain glitches we'll have to we will not see, unfortunately. Ultimately, the game, regardless of not being able to do the glitches, the game's still a lot faster in 60 FPS. You shoot a lot faster, loads are a lot faster. Wait, what am I doing? Puzzles are hard. Okay, well I take back what I said about, you know, these Resident Evil puzzles. Apparently they're pretty difficult.
Wait.
But yeah, about 60 FPS, you get forced back in balance for a lot of these glitches. But 60 FPS has a lot faster load times between areas. Going into the your inventory's a lot faster, shooting's a lot faster. But on the other hand, enemies are a lot faster too. It's harder to run past certain enemies that we could in 30 FPS. But that's the risk that you take for running a faster category, I guess. Alright, you might notice that we have a new addition to the screen. This is Ashley. Say hi, Ashley.
Wait, follow me.
No, she doesn't want to talk right now. Maybe we'll get her to say something later on. Now the game turns into a bit of an escort mission. Fortunately, she runs the same speed as you, so it's not like you have to wait for her, except for right there. But now we gotta protect her from these enemies, so it makes running past enemies a little bit more difficult. Since we have to factor in, you know, her following us. She can also get picked up by enemies and all this fun stuff, so we relish the chapters that Ashley is not part of. Oh, this is not good. Yeah, that was bad. I did not tell her to follow me again. So what I'm trying to do right here, I'm trying to manipulate this guy that's in the house to run at me from behind the ladder. Like this. So that way Ashley can just go right up the ladder without, you know, anyone trying to grab her or anything like that. Kind of a cool little example of how we can use this wait follow command for Ashley to make enemies see us that, you know, we don't see just yet. So she does have her uses, but most of the time she's useless. Coming up, we got this cabin fight. So this is a kind of another gatekeeper of the run. We got a whole bunch of enemies we have to kill in here, 40 enemies to be exact. So here we're going to be using these grenades that we've been stocking up on. I want to get him to constantly be down so he doesn't shoot any enemies while they're coming in. So the goal here is to pretty much be grouping up as many enemies as we can inside the cabin to use so that way the grenades kill, you know, more than just one or two. This is actually a pretty heavily optimized cabin with what we do. We manipulate our friend Luis here to kill certain enemies as well as let enemies in. Oh, of course I got hit. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna throw this out here. Hopefully I don't die. So what's supposed to happen is that I knifed Luis there twice. Let's use this. I knifed Luis there twice so that way enemies can get inside the cabin. Otherwise he's just gonna stay at that window and just keep shooting them. What I wanted to happen there was have one of those enemies grab Luis while I'm setting up that grenade throw, because anytime you or, you know, an NPC that you're with gets damaged or, you know, it gets grabbed or anything like that, all the other enemies just kind of just stand around, so that way you're not just constantly getting swarmed. But unfortunately there he did not get grabbed. He just kept shooting them. So when I backed myself into that corner, you know, everyone's ready to go ahead and just kill me. So this is the second part of the fight. We just sit up here to kill all these enemies with a shotgun. Luis is doing work down there. Pretty much he's the guy that's killing all the enemies while we just kill whoever comes up to us. He shoots a lot faster on 60 FPS. So we just let him do all the heavy lifting. Where am I going? So we have another Gigante fight. If you missed it earlier, Gigante is the guy that we used that rocket launcher on. There's a few of them that we see throughout the run. This one, actually, we don't even need to worry about fighting. We can just run through. Okay, good, Ashley. I thought Ashley got stuck there. All we have to do is just grab this key and run through. And then he just stays here for the rest of the game. Poor guy. Doomed to forever wander in this corridor. Pretty sure he just drops treasure if you kill him, but there's no point to do it if we can avoid him. Alright, now we got the Resident Evil 4 shooting gallery. This is my favorite part of the run, to be honest. You just take pot shots at these guys as they show up, or as they get closer to you. And just watch them fall into the void. See ya. So as they get closer, they'll actually throw their weapons at us. But we can shoot them at a range that they don't do that. Also, I just like to flex my my aiming in this game. It's really that's all it's about. Now we get to show the. Where we go? Come on, let's get it. All right, we get to show the sky textures in this. So look in the corner. Even though this game, you know, you can scale it up to, you know, whatever resolution you want. They didn't bother to actually like, or Capcom didn't bother to actually improve like the textures that much. So you can still see, you know, the very low res. Oh, what am I doing? The very low res textures there. I just like to give Capcom crap as much as I can. So I'm sorry if anyone's offended. All right, now we're moving on to, this is chapter 2-3, by the way. This is the final part of chapter 2, and like I said earlier, we got a boss that we're gonna have to deal with. This dude is Mendez. He's the village chief, the big cheese. He has a lot of different names, but so we're gonna kill this guy. He has a pretty big weakness to fire, apparently. I mean, I guess he's bug type Pokemon, so he's got that 2x weakness. But that's the reason why we've been picking up those incendiary grenades. On 60 FPS, we can just kill him with 4 of them, plus the explosion from that barrel at the very end. So pretty much makes what was a pretty difficult boss casually. You know, you're fighting this big bullet sponge in this tiny little area that's on fire into turns into one of the easiest parts of this run. There's only a couple things that can go wrong with it, and that's all dependent on the player itself, so there's no RNG or anything that can cause you to, you know, screw up that fight. We are approaching the next environment, which I'll talk about in a little bit. We'll have a item inventory change as well, so we finally get to see some new stuff. First, we have to use this random retinal scanner. Makes me wonder, how do these other villagers, how are they supposed to get through that door? But here we go. We got this truck that just is intent on killing us. So all I have to do is shoot his head. I screwed up. I was supposed to use all my ammo earlier, so I don't have to worry about selling it. But yeah, shooting that truck a few times with the handgun, or just killing the enemy inside. This causes the truck to flip randomly. Don't know how that works, but we'll take it. But now we're on to the castle. So this is chapter 3. Like I said, we're gonna have an inventory change here.
What are you buying? No. Come back.
Alright, had to focus a little bit on that. It's kind of hard to do that menu any quick while talking. But we sold our handgun and our shotgun, as well as just random stuff that we had. We picked up a semi-automatic rifle, which we're going to be using a lot throughout this run because I'll show you right here. Because we're going to miss shots twice. And then we're going to reset that because we don't want to miss 2 shots like that. So let's pretend that did not happen. So we're going to shoot this guy. There we go. Look at that. First try. But yeah, so the rifle, you know, has range on it. It's actually the strongest weapon that we're going to be using for most of this run. Instant headshots, most enemies. So you just imagine how useful that is for rooms that we need to kill a bunch of guys. And then we bought the TMP as well, which is like a submachine gun. We're going to be using that to stagger a lot of enemies. So we could use the handgun instead, but the TMP is a little bit better as far as ammo goes. But we're going to use them to stagger enemies that we can't run past without doing anything else. Also, just to point out, blew up that wall with that cannon right there. And Ashley's back with us, safe and sound. Definitely put a good amount of time into that, Chops, you know, so much that I've actually had MLG, you know, reach out to me trying to recruit me because of my my sick 360 no scopes in this game. But I put them down, I turned them down. Not about that life.
Follow me.
So I exited the room here. You can hear the enemies now coming after me again. A lot of areas, if you leave the room and come back in, it just resets the room completely, barring any enemies you may have killed. So it's kind of nice for that area where I have to go back in past all those enemies, especially with Ashley. It's kind of a little bit of abuse of game's mechanics. Picking up key items, gonna shoot this, blow all these guys up. I'm gonna see what these guys do. Nice. Oh, that's actually really good right there. So sometimes those enemies will just run straight to the door, and they'll open it right as you're about to open it and grab you and do a lot of damage to you. Sometimes they'll just kind of chill in the archway there, so you have to shoot them out of the way. But the good pattern is what we saw right there, where they actually moved out of the way. Let me run past them. So like I said, there's a lot to talk about in this game. Just little minor things that I'm kind of ignoring because it really is not interesting at all. But there's just so much that you can do to manipulate enemy movement in this game that it's really difficult to go into detail about everything. So we'll just talk about the flash stuff. So we got this guy, got Galador Wolverine. I don't know, probably swear at him a bit too. But he's got this thing on his back that we want to shoot a whole bunch of times. We're gonna kill him right here. Nice. That's a fancy little way to kill him that fast. Normally that's supposed to be like a mini boss. But like I said, the rifle is just so strong. Just makes quick work of a lot of these like enemies and mini bosses too, I guess. And now we enter dreaded water hall room. So this room is this is another one of those areas that a lot of people reset. A lot of tight movement here, especially with Ashley, and a lot of just randomness that can happen in general, to be honest. I'll grab that just because. So our goal here is to, you know, go to different parts of the room to open up that staircase that's actually up right now. First thing what I do is run into here. This is when things get a little bit difficult because now all these enemies are, you know, outside. They're trying to get in here. This is why it's so important to go as fast as you can, because if you don't go fast enough, then you just have a whole bunch of dudes just ready to have a bad time. Oh my god. Okay. We're okay. Like that. So Ashley is a little bit weird when it comes to movement. I have to make sure that no enemies are by her, otherwise she'll just start just chilling there and let herself get grabbed. So what we want to do here is we want to protect her while she's doing that little crank to get the staircase down. Then we want to run past all of them too. Nice. So just some kind of weird movement there to get all the enemies running down the staircase to go to one side of that crank that Ashley was at. And then I just quickly went over to the other side. So a lot of the movement in this game is really precise. Obviously you want to go, you know, as fast as you can. It's a speed run, but you also have the additional benefit that you need to, like, there's little small windows that you need to, you know, do your movement in, otherwise things just go really bad. So here we got the second shooting gallery of the castle. Shoot all these dudes. So you can see just how stupid strong this is. So we're just gonna kill, you know, a bunch of these enemies. We've killed enough enemies right now that none of them will bother Ashley. At least until she moves again. So we can actually spend some time going through and picking up some items that we need. There's a couple guys here that are going to be chasing us, so we'll just take them out too. We're going to have one dude that starts running right here. We don't need to kill him, we just need to shoot him once, because then he'll stop moving at that point. Or stop running, he'll just start walking towards Ashley. And then now we're free to kind of do what we want while Ashley finishes up her part of the puzzle scripted sequence, whatever. Just waiting. So a really easy room. You saw that I reset the checkpoint, or reloaded the checkpoint once I got to the top of the stairs. That caused all the enemies that were previously on the other part to despawn while keeping me in the same spot. So another little fun thing to abuse. And now I get rid of Ashley. It's okay that she's at red health. She'll actually get healed to full when we find her again. And that's the end of 3-1. Pretty long chapter because of that waterhole. And then we move into 3-2. So, you know, I mentioned that, you know, earlier in the run that each environment kind of poses a unique challenge, you know, to the speedrun itself. So the castle is all about just RNG, and that's namely due to these enemies right here called Novistadors. So there's these giant bug-like creatures. They're actually invisible here. You can see them now when they try to attack me. But these dudes are like super random. They just do what they want. You know, they'll here they won't do it here, but they'll just you know, decide, you know, when they want to come try to attack you, you know, how fast they want to go, all this kind of stuff. And for this specific area, we have to go back through them, which is why I picked up this flash grenade, just to be on the safe side, get him out of my way. Otherwise, you kind of run the risk of going through that doorway and just getting pushed down. So the main reason why these dudes suck is, you know, they'll combo you, you know, with everyone else. So they'll push you down constantly without giving you a chance to go into your menu and heal. They'll decapitate you. Pretty much they'll ruin your run. And we see them a whole bunch of times in the castle too. So definitely not very fun part, you know, of speedrunning this game. Those ones were the easiest ones to deal with though. They just get even more stupid later on. But we'll worry about that then. Gonna run through here. So cutscene will play if you're not fast enough. Like the enemies at the door going down and all that kind of stuff. Just want to make sure not to stop at all. But here we go, got the red zealot room. So another like kind of key difference between 30 and 60 FPS here. 30 FPS we can use this strat using an incendiary grenade to trap this red zealot over there and kill him in a pretty easy manner. Doesn't work on 60 FPS, so we have to kill him normally. So we're gonna throw this flash grenade to stop all these enemies from bothering us. They're gonna nail 3 quick ones on him. That. Hello? Okay. I'm gonna shoot that, make all these enemies fall down, and then run back and collect this key. It's a lot harder than it looks to shoot that guy. You know, there's some RNG that has to go with, you know, what kind of stagger animation he can do. And if he decides to just start running before you can shoot him again, which has happened before. So a lot of little small stupid things that can kill a run or just make you lose a lot of time for no reason. Ooh, that was close. Almost got hit by that site there. So this is the rocket room. Just need to get through here without... Oh, I meant to use that herb. Okay, whatever. I'll just keep it for now. See if we got any dudes at this door. Oh, that was not good. That's fine. At least I didn't heal earlier. So what the goal there was is to get through that door, get to that wall that was right there too, so the rockets only hit the other enemies and not me. But a lot of dudes were right there, so couldn't really do that without getting... If I got hit by one of those sides, I probably would have got decapitated. That's a little bit too gruesome for Twitch TOS, so don't want to get Valuethon banned at all. I also should have mentioned this earlier. Every Leon has a few different running animations. You can see the one that right now where he's kind of just running hands-free with the rocket launcher in his back. He does the same running animation for being unarmed as well as grenades too. So each animation actually has a different run speed associated with it. It's not too important right now because generally the time you would have to be running for a very long time, you know, in a certain animation in order to have any kind of like time save or anything like that. Or if you just need a little bit extra speed to get through an area like you do here. But this run animation says the fastest. We often switch to, you know, rocket launcher or grenade when we have to go into the menu anyways to use a key item. Just to get that, you know, small little time save. It'll be a little bit more prevalent later on, like 20 minutes or so. But for now, we just switch whenever there's an opportunity. We won't purposely open the menu and switch unless there's a reason to. Yeah, shout out to the dogs there. Dogs, you know, that area is pretty scary, you know, at least for a casual playthrough. But those dogs don't do anything at all. As long as you're not looking at them or running at them like at a straight angle or stopping, then they will never attack you. Shoot that little wine bottle, open up this door, and grab this flash grenade. And we get stopped it in his cage. Shoot this lock off. Kick that guy halfway across the room. Get the heck out of there. So this is kind of just demonstrating the power of the TMP, just quickly being able to knock enemies down or just stagger them. Otherwise those guys would just hit me and it'd be a bad time for everybody. So I'm gonna shoot this as they get closer, because there's no way to get past these shield guys in a small little corridor like this. So we shoot that little lamp, set him on fire, get him out of our way. Then we move on to saving Ashley again. So I want to make sure not to shoot Ashley here. It's a little bit tricky, but we're good. So what we gotta do here is we gotta protect Ashley. I mean, I guess that's kind of the goal of the whole game, actually, to be honest. But we gotta protect her here even more. Gotta save her. So there's a whole bunch of enemies we gotta kill.
The door's locked. I can't open it.
And if you don't kill all these enemies at once, it causes more enemies to spawn. So we want to shoot this guy down. I'm gonna switch this grenade. I'm gonna wait a hot second, throw it. And if we did it right, that killed all the enemies at the same time. If I didn't do it right, then I'm a big dumb.
I can get out.
Looks like I did it right though. So what happens is, like I said, more enemies will spawn. It's not too big of a deal. I'll just shoot them down, but just waste a little bit of time, as well as precious rifle ammo that I need. Like I said, Ashley gets healed to full too as soon as you take control of her. So Ashley doesn't have any weapons or anything like that. We don't want to get grabbed by any enemies. We can't fight anyone. There's these little lamps that she can pick up and throw at the Ganado here. Oh, that was not good. That's way too much. But yeah, there's little lamps that she can pick up and throw at those guys to kind of stun them or whatever. But it's better just to run past them. I am not good at mashing buttons. Also want to point out Ashley has a flashlight. Where that flashlight came from, you know, that's really the biggest question behind Resident Evil 4. You know, where did this flashlight come from? So if you do have an answer, you know, feel free to shoot me a private message afterwards. Maybe we can solve this mystery together. Oh, by the way, there's suits of armor chasing us. No big deal. We'll just run past all of them. Alright, now I get to go ahead and reunite with Leon and never have to worry about controlling Ashley again. Alright, that concludes chapter 3. This is one of those chapters that actually doesn't have a boss at the end of it. Unless controlling Ashley itself is supposed to be kind of a boss fight. I don't know. But yeah, there's no boss in this chapter. But now we're on to chapter 4. So this is a chapter 4-1, and better buckle up because this is a freaking long chapter. This is, I would probably say, the second hardest chapter in the game. Start kicking things off hot with this volcano room. Just molten lava everywhere, chilling in the middle of a castle. Don't know how that works, but it's cool. Also gonna fire off 2 quick ones on those chains holding up these statues. Quickly kill them. A lot of people don't know that. You just shoot those chains instead of having to like try to destroy the statue itself. You can also shoot the guy that's controlling them, but it's a little bit faster for the speed run to just shoot the chains with that rifle. I agree, everyone needs a volcano in their mansion. Now, the logistics of it, really, you don't want to talk to me about that because I have no idea how that works. But if you can figure it out, hey man, you go for it. So these key items we've been picking up throughout the castle segment, we're going to be using them right here. We're now back at the start of the castle. Once I go through here, see, now we're back here. Now we have all these items to use for this door. So this is called the Chimer wall. And I just want to make a special shout out for this wall because this is like the last big skip that we have not been able to find out. If we could find a way to go out of bounds in that area and go through that wall, it would essentially skip the entirety of chapter 3 and just let us go right to chapter 4. Probably about 15-20 minute time save overall, but we cannot figure out exactly how to do it. I don't know if we'll ever find out a way to do it, but it'll be super tight if we ever did, because that would just change the run completely. Alright, we got hard puzzles. We did it. Alright, now we got the Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom room. We're just gonna shoot those lights out before we even enter it so the spike ceiling stays up there. Then we got these 2 dudes that they just chill behind a wall their entire lives waiting for us to go past them. But they're also super weak, and we just kill them with 1 shot each and get Ashley out of there. Pick up that yellow herb. I've been told it's a good idea to pick up that yellow herb there. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So this is kind of the first hard part of 4-1. It's not too hard for me though, but we gotta kill all these suits of armor by shooting their heads off, or their helmets off, and then using a flash grenade to kill all of them. So interesting little mechanic of this is that these plagas that show up, whenever they're exposed, using a flash grenade will generally kill them in 1 hit automatically. So that's something we abuse here instead of having to use more ammo on these guys. So we just need 1 shot each to knock their helmets off, steal their lunch money, get the heck out of there. So that's one of those rooms that timing and landing your shots very important. You need to be able to get those guys, those helmets off before they just are able to charge you. If I missed even 1 shot there, it would probably have been a reset, or I would have had to like run to the other side of the room trying to dodge all those guys. So another little cool thing, so like I said, enemies like to run straight at you. So we abuse that by standing on one side of the hallway and then quickly switching them up and going to the other side. Alright, now we got Novistadors Part 2. So these, now they get to fly. And oh, it's even starting great. So now they fly, and now they do whatever the hell they want. So this guy, he's just having a grand old time right here. Chilling next to this. So we use these flash grenades to kind of mitigate the movement of Novistadors a bit. The reason why they're so scary is that they can just kill me like that. The reason why they're so scary here and then an upcoming segment is that their flying is like super bugged. Get it? Because they're bugs. Please like and subscribe. Okay, but their movement is super buggy. They can go out of bounds. They can just randomly spawn wherever they want. They can hit you from weird distances that don't make any sense. And they can still combo you. Oh, I'm loving this chapter. Let me get the catapult that lands on me too, which is completely random as well. Sometimes it hits you, sometimes it doesn't. And we're out of heals, at least until this green herb up here. So yeah, this chapter is just brutal. Just the embodiment of RNG with Novistadors, you know, random catapults just throwing their crap at you. We got archers too that are gonna spawn in this tower, and they can hit you if they want to or not. I'll probably actually have to reload a checkpoint if I get hit by any of these archers. So I'm really hoping that does not happen. I need all my movement speed for the next area. So yeah, if you're in like in yellow, which color of his health, then he moves a lot slower. And like I said, for areas that you just need specific movement to get through, not being able to move as fast as you should be can definitely hurt things a bit. Alright, but we're good though. We're not going to take any damage here, I think. Maybe. Shoot that dude. Shoot that dude. And then starting in the next chapter, we begin to just get a lot of healing items. So these guys are tricky. We're going to get them all to attack me, and then hopefully these guys attack me. Okay, good. Very tight movement there. If even one of those enemies decide just to keep running at me and not attack me. Oh, look, they're rushing into each other's arms. But yeah, if even one of those enemies decides not to attack me, then usually I have to just reload the checkpoint there until they do. Alright, now we get to really go fast. So
Welcome.
first do this inventory. I'm so worried at this. So bad at this.
What are you buying? Thanks. Come back, Eddie.
Alright, so now we got super fast glitch. Yo, what's up, Lampshade? Another fellow RE4 runner. But yeah, now you can see Leon's moving pretty fast. So what we're doing now is this glitch called the Ditman glitch. At that merchant, we went and bought a I always forget to do that. We bought a striker, which is like a it's like the third tier of shotguns. For whatever reason, it has a weird interaction with Leon's movement. If you you begin to raise it up, but before you fully raise the weapon up, you switch to a different weapon. So for whatever reason, that causes Leon to move incredibly fast. It's called Ditman. Ditman. It's named after the guy on GameFAQs who found it like ages ago. Come on, buddy. Got a little bit worried there. I mean, the Dabman glitch sounds pretty cool too. I'm all about renaming it to Dabman if we can get the community to agree on that. Might be hard though. So for now, we'll just call it Ditman glitch. But yeah, so now Leon's moving like ridiculously fast. A lot faster than the game intends. Yeah, it was like super early on. We're gonna abuse this quite a lot throughout the run. Makes also the second half of this run a lot faster than it's supposed to be.
Welcome.
Find our rocket launcher.
Come back, Eddie.
Also didn't point out that we used the rocket launcher on that one boss, the Verdugo. Guy has the most HP in the game, so Capcom's like, you know, if you want, you can wait like 3 minutes trying to dodge his attacks to get to this area, but we're not about that life. So use a rocket launcher to kill him instantly. Alright, so now we get to kind of show, you know, the use of this Dipman glitch. So like I said, you know, Leon is his movements. I'm sorry, using Dipman isn't just limited to his movement speed. It's limited to it. It's pretty much every single action he takes is a lot faster than the game is running. So you can see like that pulley there. We did the animation for the pulley faster than the pulley itself. So we'll do that twice here, and just throw Leon out of bounds. Instead of having to fight these two gigantes that normally come out of this door, we'll just go right around it and just avoid that fight completely. That brings us to Novistadors Part 3. This room's a little bit of a... This room sucks. But having the Dipman glitch, or being able to run fast, really helps trying to get through this room. So we have these like 2 different bottlenecks that we have to go through with Leon, and need to be able to you know, obviously do this as fast as you can, but the other benefit to doing this fast is that you need to be able to you know, avoid these bottlenecks as you're constantly being chased by these Novistadors. Oh, this is not gonna be good. They're all right behind me. So if I did this fast enough, usually this little tunnel right here would be empty of enemies. Okay, I still got through though. Oh crap. Alright, phew. If you do that any kind of slow, you just have this wall of Novistadors that you have to run through. Sucks. So you use one flash grenade there to clear all these enemies out of the way, and then just get through there. I was moving my camera away. It's not just me being fancy. Anytime you move a camera away from the Novistadors, they choose not to do this QTE command where they jump on you, and you have the option to kick them out of the way. So we don't want to do that, because doing a lot of commands such as, you know, opening doors, getting hit by enemies, causes you to lose this you know, fast speed status. So if we move the camera away, they don't ever do it. They just do like a lunge attack, which we can just easily run past, and we keep our glitch up. We can always reactivate Dipman glitch if we need to, but if we can avoid going into the menu, then we'll do that. Oh, that was dumb. Also, healing causes you to lose Dipman glitch. Yeah, 60 FPS has a weird selection of glitches that work, and we're actually going to show off a pretty big one in this next area. Assuming I don't die to this Salvador. Oh, I'm terrible. I threw that grenade to blow that door up, but I guess I threw it a little bit too far. So a bunch of cool little tricks to maintain your Dipman as much as we can. I'm not gonna explain each one, but there's a lot of cool things. If you don't want to get hit by these guys, just gotta keep moving. But here we got kind of a relatively new skip as far as how long the game's been out. So what this area is typically is this minecart sequence that we have to go through, but forget that. We're just gonna run through it ourselves and go right to the end. So yeah, walls in this game are just they're just an option pretty much. If you go out of bounds, you can just run through any wall in the game, pretty much. But what I just did there was the minecart skip. Just found early last year actually. Saves about a minute and a half in this run. So like I said, normally what you would have to do is go through this entire segment, you know, on the minecart, you know, killing enemies, hitting switches, all that kind of good stuff. But just a random viewer just found a way to by jumping into that first minecart at a weird angle while holding like up and left, just causes you to just go right outside of the minecart and go around the track. So that glitch is only specific to 60 FPS. But then late last year, someone found another way to replicate it on every other version of the game, including like GameCube and PS2, where you get on the minecart and you jump from one cart to the next one at a specific spot, and it just forces you out of bounds. Those are kind of I'm like really losing my voice. I'm really sorry if I sound like nasally or whatnot. But the minecart skip was like a big thing that we tried to figure out for a long time. So now we've moved on to like trying to figure out how to skip that timer wall, since that's like the last big skip of this game. So I'm gonna shoot twice here. I'll go back into Dipman. Just to kind of get some enemies moving that we're gonna see in a little bit. This guy should be nice. So this one's just pretty much stagger enemies, run by, try not to get hit. So we run back to kind of get that guy to notice us. All right, cool, he's right there. So some really tight movement there. Just kind of once again showing off how good the TMP is for getting past enemies. And then this segment's pretty self-explanatory. Just got a giant Salazar mecha chasing you just out of nowhere. Sucks for anyone who wanted to come back this way. So this is the final chapter of chapter 4. So this is a 4-4. Yeah, this is 4-4. And to kind of close out this chapter, as well as the castle segment, we gotta climb this huge tower. But we're not done with the RNG. Please. For whatever reason, that guy did not want to blow up the barrels with his dynamite, so whatever, you do you, dude. Alright, so let's kick things off. We're gonna kill those two guys, archers, so they're not hitting us, and we're gonna position ourselves in a weird spot to quickly shoot these guys off our elevator. So anytime there's more than one enemy on this elevator, the elevator stops moving, so we don't want that to happen. So we use the kind of the range of the striker to quickly knock off these enemies without even needing to kill them, and just keep going as fast as we can. If I mess up the range or the angle of this at all, then they get stuck like that. Oh my god. We're good though. It's okay if we just have one enemy. It gets a little bit funky at the end because they screw up the order in which they're jumping down, but it still paid off right there. Just gonna leave that guy behind. I never looked down here actually. What's down here? Oh, it's just a void. See how much money do I? Okay, I got enough money to buy the rocket launcher without having to sell something right now.
Welcome. Got some. What are you buying?
Alright, here's the boss for this chapter. So you can tell that rocket launchers are kind of our go-to weapon in the speedrun for how strong they are. Missed the eye a couple times there, but it's cool. So we shoot that eye 3 times with the striker. Or more accurately, we actually hit those 3 shots. And then we just open it up and use a rocket launcher to kill them. So 30 FPS, we can actually skip this fight entirely. By jumping at a weird angle and just going out of bounds and running straight through the boss to the end. Can't do that in 60, so rocket launcher it is. Buy another rocket launcher.
What are you buying?
Alright, now we're on to the final chapter of this game. So now we're in the island segment. So we're done with the castle, done with the village, onwards to military island. This is where the game, really takes a different turn. Kind of says, we really want to differentiate ourselves from, the past Resident Evils. So we're gonna throw military zombies at you with guns and stuff. Game just goes straight off the rails at this point. But as far as the difficulty for this chapter is all about execution. There's very minimal RNG in it. Come on, hit me. Oh, he did. Oh, cool. But yeah, this chapter has very minimal RNG involved in it. It's all about execution. You can control just about everything that happens in this part of the game. Apparently not this laser though. Don't hit me. Okay, I'll just reload that. That's like the one random part, actually part of this whole chapter, is whether or not there's a dude there just gonna hit you. But this is one of my favorite chapters to do, because like I said, it's all about your skill as opposed to just whatever the game decides on you. Dude, congrats on your food. I have a bagel here. I don't think it's too exciting though. Run past all these fools. Yeah, Dipman is definitely not intended here because a lot of these enemies don't even have enough time to react to you running. So kind of a cool skip right here. So we got this this shutter door. It's gonna keep opening with enemies behind them. Oh, I screwed it up. And normally you have to kill all these enemies in order to get past them. Oh my god, dude. Okay, I'm just gonna do this again. Normally you have to kill all these enemies to get past them, but we can actually abuse using Ditman to run past them while they have it open. There we go, like that. So fun little skip there. There's like 2 waves that enemies normally have to kill, and they have a lot more HP than they should too. So it would take a bit of time to get through that. Alright, got hard puzzles. Alright, had to concentrate there for a minute. I got it. Alright, so this area introduces the regenerator. Big freaking bullet sponge dude. Anytime you shoot off any of his limbs, he just regenerates them, hence the name. Super spooky because you just hear their breathing, while you're running through these areas. But in the speed run, these guys are a complete joke. They're super slow. You can bait out their attacks and run past them. You don't have to kill any of them except for one, which is why we have a rocket launcher to use later on. So kind of speedrun makes fun of those guys. Alright, so we're gonna wait for this guy. Usually you can jump down and run past these guys. I'm just not good at it. So I just wait for that archer to get out of their way before I run past all these enemies. Archers, for whatever reason, in 60 FPS just have like homing missiles or homing arrows. They'll hit you no matter what. It's kind of scary to deal with. So if I can avoid one guy shooting at me, then I'll take it. Alright, you're not going to see this one because we're going to kill him immediately, but this is another form of regenerator called the Iron Maiden. It has like spikes all over the place, but fortunately it's kind of dead now. We'll see more of them later on. But those guys have a ridiculous amount of HP, but this is the only one we have to kill because he has a key item that we need to get to the next area. Wait, I need to this out. I thought it was flash, so these archers don't hit me. Thank you. Run past these guys because they're super slow. For some reason, a lot of these areas, like they like to have one enemy point at you while the other ones like try to attack you. So we just bait out the attack of one enemy and just run past the other ones. So we kick this guy out of the way. Get out of our way. And run past those other guys. Right here we can use Ashley as bait. Leave her there, so that way all the enemies go after her. Sorry, Ashley. Must go on alone. But nah, she's with us now. So most areas you gotta, you know, when you open, like go to a door without Ashley, it'll just give you this prompt like, hey, you need Ashley with you. But if the entrance to the next area is actually like a trigger, like walking over a certain point, game doesn't care where Ashley's at. She's just gonna show up right next to you. Here's the Iron Maidens called for all the spikes they have. Oh, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. So what he's supposed to do there is this like punch, like downward punch attack, so I can run past him. Guess he doesn't want to do that at this point, so he's gonna take the hit and run past him. Now we got another cool little glitch. So purposely used all my flash grenades leading up to this point to pull this off. So what we're doing is pointed at Ashley right there with my knife, and whenever you're in this empty status as opposed to just not having anything equipped, Ashley still thinks I'm pointing at her with some sort of weapon as long as I hold the knife button down. I'm gonna release it now, and you can see that she's jumping down.
Look, there's a gate here.
And she's gonna run over here. The reason why we do that is that now there's a bunch of enemies right there. If we can get them, okay, you see a couple of them right there. But they don't see Ashley for whatever reason. Ashley's invisible to them. They only want to see Leon. So if Leon gets into this area before Ashley jumps down, then we just use this. We can just wait here and use that switch 3 times without anyone bothering us. So cool little abuse of game mechanics. That one's also kind of new. I think like a couple years ago. Does require changing, mapping different buttons to our controller, unfortunately. So you can't really do it in like consoles or anything like that. But still looks cool. Also, Ashley, just like I said, walls, They're just an option in this game. You can just run past them or run through them, whatever you like to do.
Leave it to me, Leon.
So while we got to skip the auto scroller earlier, the minecart, can't skip this one, unfortunately. So Ashley putting her her truck driving skills to the test here. Man, I never realized how small this corridor is too, for how big this truck is. I'd be like scratching all the walls. So these enemies, if you stand on the edge of the truck, they like to think that you're right next to them. So they'll just keep attacking the air and never jump on the truck, except when it stops. But we got the striker, so it just blows them all off. Get out of here, fam. Striker is actually pretty strong too. Kills a lot of these enemies in one hit. And we got the ghost truck. Came out of nowhere. So I just want to point out the truck is on fire. You all see that. The truck is on fire right now. The engine's on fire. The whole thing's on fire. It's very important knowledge. Because all of a sudden, the truck just gets the will to start driving again. Completely goes through that beam over there too that you see back there. So, pretty sure this is like a ghost truck or something. Just abusing pretty much the laws of our world. Going through walls, starting wildfire.
I'm leaving it to you.
I mean, he could be the true villain of this game. We'll never know at this point. Alright, yeah, run. Get that guy to attack and then run past these other dudes. See you, nerds. Oh. That's alright that get hit there. As soon as you jump down, you trigger another checkpoint. I would like to avoid, you know, having to reload that checkpoint if I can, but what can you do? Oh, is Ashley the real villain? Okay, we gotta take her out. Oh no. We failed the mission. Okay, I don't think she's the real villain. But yeah, actually, we got protected from all those guys that are like jumping on the truck. They never get close to her at all. But casually could be a little bit more tricky. I'm gonna shoot a lot of these enemies off before they have a chance to even you know, get to us. They all take one hit before they jump down. See, they're gonna die right now. And if they didn't die, I mean, you got a truck that's gonna run them over, so I'd hope they die at that point. So these enemies are a little bit more tricky because they have a really high chance of turning into those plagas, and I don't want any plagas here because of there's a cutscene coming up that I'll be stuck in, and if they're running around during it, okay, I think I'm gonna be okay. If they're running around during it, then they could just kill me while I don't have control myself. Then we got Truck's brother. Also came out of nowhere. But I got kind of lucky there. The enemies were kind of kind and just kept getting knocked down. Often if there's like, if I trigger you know, the Plaga showing up, just shooting them once will blow their head off.
Selection of what do you buy?
Oh wait, I gotta do this 'cause I didn't do it earlier.
Back anytime.
Kind of slow, but whatever.
What do you buy? What are you selling? Huh? What are you buying?
All right, but yeah, that cutscene where the truck rams you, you're stuck there, but you're still vulnerable to like anyone who could do damage to you, and not always will those enemies die to it. So I've actually had runs die on a PB pace because enemies run up and killed me right as this screen was fading to black there. What am I doing? Alright, so we're almost done actually. Well, still got probably about 15 minutes or so. We're in chapter 5.3. We just have chapter 5.4 in the last boss to go through. This chapter is pretty long too. We got a couple bosses we're gonna be fighting in this chapter, including, you know, this cutscene boss. This is personally my favorite chapter of the game because there's not a lot of RNG associated with it. Plus, the actual fight with this guy later on is pretty fun.
Been a long time.
Comrade. So this is an unskippable QT cutscene. You know, at different points he's going to try to attack us, and we need to be able to hit, you know, a button combination to avoid the attack. There's only two possible button combinations in this game, and for PC we can just literally spam both of them at the same exact time, so that way no matter what button combination shows up, we'll always succeed at it. It's a little bit different for like GameCube and PS2 because they don't read inputs as fast, and you can actually have one input override the other one, so it makes this cutscene a little bit scarier to deal with on standard definition consoles. But for PC, yeah, just spam both of them at the same time. You should never die in this chapter, or at least this part.
You got her involved just for that?
All for Umbrella's sake.
All for Umbrella's sake.
Umbrella.
Umbrella.
Almost let us slip.
Enough talk.
Enough talk. Die, comrade. I gotta wait a second to see what button's gonna show up there. Start mashing the wrong one right away, then he'll just kill you immediately.
Well, if it isn't the bitch in the red dress.
Whoa, Krauser, this is a nice Christian marathon. There's no swearing like that.
You may be able to prolong your life, but it's not like you can escape your inevitable death, is it?
You knew each other?
More or less. Maybe it's about time you told me the reason why you're here.
Maybe some other time.
This is also like the first cutscene in the speedrun that you actually get to see other characters besides Luis and Ashley. Well, man, thank you for censoring that. No heckin' swearing here, dudes. Oh, crap. Yeah, and we also just dodged a bunch of lasers. I really... If I could go back in time and just kind of watch this game design process, I'd really want to know how both the mecha and this part, those lasers, got into this game. Like, what was the reasoning behind it? Maybe, yeah, maybe that was the reason. It's because of the Resident Evil movie. I don't know if it came out before or after this. But yeah, I have some questions for the people that designed this game. No. Okay. So we don't run. Okay, so this is the first boss fight of this chapter. This is called a U3 it whatever you want to call it. Oh. This first part of this fight is literally we don't want to damage him at all. We just want to run past him and get through this small area. Oh, it was? Okay, so it definitely was the lasers then. How they got their inspiration. So yeah, we want to get through this area. Stagger him too, so that way he leaves us alone. And we're gonna hit these buttons too to unlock the next area. So any damage you do to him here just pretty much does nothing at all. So that's why I don't want to waste any ammo on him other than just to cause him to jump back into the ceiling. Cool little glitch there, walls don't exist. So we just throw a grenade right through it and hit the button on the other side. Alright, now that we're out of that, we can actually kill him, which we'll just use a rocket launcher. Surprise, surprise. And 2 knives. This fight's actually pretty cool in other categories that you can't kill him right away. So anytime I do like challenge runs like handgun only or no merchant runs, it's kind of cool abusing his movement to get in like knife all your knifing and stuff. But unfortunately we don't get to show that off here. Yeah, definitely the knife carried us through that fight. The knife is also going to carry us through the next fight too, so spoilers. But before we go into this next fight, we're going to do our final inventory change. So we can get rid of this rifle, or TMP I mean. And we're going to buy the Killer 7, which is the strongest base magnum in the game. Other magnums can get upgraded more, but we don't do any kind of upgrades. And then we're going to buy another rocket launcher. You can only guess what we may use the rocket launcher on. So this is my favorite fight in the game. This is Krauser, the dude that we saw from the cutscene earlier. Straight up, you know, man versus man. No giant monsters or anything like that. Just, you know, a gentleman's duel. So we talked about the knife being super good. This fight, it's super OP because he takes a lot more damage when I actually land the knife. That's pretty important, like that. But he takes a lot of damage from the knife. He also staggers too, which we're gonna abuse at different points during this fight. Am I gonna get here? No, that was very close. Yeah, he's got a knife too. Knives are the hidden OP weapon of this run. Oh, I missed it. So what I wanted to do there was shoot him in the head and then cause him to chase me. I am messing this fight up. There we go. What I wanted to do there was shoot him in the head and then quickly back up so that way he would chase me instead of jumping up. It's the quick kill strat there. It's a little bit tricky to do though, but what I did there works too. Also, Leon's moving faster because of Ditman than the game thinks you should be. So the statue itself that I'm pushing there isn't what is stopping. Like, they actually lined up Leon's animation with the statue perfectly. So if you throw in Ditman, you just go straight through the statue itself. Like I said, objects are just, you know, a concept in this game. Also, shoutouts to all the little robots that we ran past. Absolutely does not show up in any other part of this game. No introduction at all to them. They're just there in this fight, and that's it. Alright, now we have to kill Krauser. Well, I guess kill him in the main game. He actually dies in separate ways, which is Ada's run. But we have to abuse the knife here. So we can get him in this corner. We can get the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Infinite on him till he dies right here. But yeah, knife is really good in this chapter. Takes a pretty difficult fight and just makes it super simple. Alright, now we're on to chapter 5-4. So this is the second and last chapter of the game. I did say that, you know, there's not a lot of RNG in the island chapter. It's more about execution. This part completely throws that out the window. You have like a million things shooting at you. This is the reason why we pick up so many like healing items throughout this, because you're pretty much always going to get hit at some point. Whether it be an arrow like that, another arrow like that. It's like a segment that you just have to brute force your way through it. There's no like safe method. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna pass this guy. So like I said there, that was kind of weird. That was actually my fault. He did not get hit by the gun there. Or the Magnum. Dude, what the heck is going on here? Oh my god, this is so hard to do. But yeah, like I said, this chapter all about just constantly moving fast. Okay, good, he didn't hit me there. Having enough heals to brute force your way through, and hopefully not dying. We don't want to die here because it makes the room a little bit more difficult upon reset. I think we're okay now. Let's see. Where's this dude? Alright, we're good. This part's easy now that we killed all the miniguns. Is he gonna shoot this down for us? Nah. So we got our friend Mike in that helicopter there. You see it just kind of hanging low. He shot down that tower on the other side, which we don't want that to happen. We want him to shoot down this tower that we're running past right now, so we can just jump down. Alright, and hopefully we don't get a game crash here. Nice. So that area has a pretty high chance, not high chance, but higher chance than any other area to just randomly crash. Pretty much effectively killing a run after getting through that part. I don't know why this port's kind of weird. I've had crashes literally right upon starting the game. But I don't know, I didn't code it. With the roll of the punches. Grab that herb just in case. So this next room is kind of like the last problem area of the game. If you get through this area, you're pretty much done with the speed run. What we have to do here, we have to kill a specific enemy that's going to be running. Oh, what the heck? Don't kill me. Alright. We had to kill that one enemy to get that key card, but unfortunately another random guy just showed up. Oh my god, this game is so unforgiving right now. Holy heck, dude. I have to reset this. Shoutouts to using an entire inventory of herbs in these two areas alone. But yeah, like I said, this chapter is just brutal as far as RNG goes. What the heck is going on? Now that guy just ran. I don't know where this guy is coming from. Yeah, there's so much bullying going on in this chapter. There we go. This is what's supposed to happen. That guy runs at me. They get stuck in this. Okay, they can get stuck in the door, but whatever. But sometimes they'll hold the door open. You just grab the key and you run past them. This is literally how this is supposed to go down. Oops. Once we get up here, it's a little bit easier. It's just getting that first guy dead is a nightmare. We got this flash grenade we can use. We're gonna throw another one down here, which will stun these enemies down. Oh no, they didn't. Alright, please don't hit me. You hit me. Oh, this is... Yeah, this is your standard 5-4 or 5-4. A lot of runs, you know, definitely die in this chapter, which sucks given how far into the run it is. But what can you do? But that's like the last problem area of this game. Alright, we're gonna get this guy to run at me. Alright, now we're into the final chapter. So while we wrap this up, I just want to give shout outs to Valuethon for having me again. It's my third one. It's always wonderful to be part of this. Shout out to Boys and Chops for putting this on. I'm sorry if I don't know the other admins and stuff, but I definitely appreciate it. So this fight, this is the final boss fight. We just have to pretty much do enough damage to bring him down to like 50%. We get the standard, you know, rocket launcher at the end of any Resident Evil game that instantly kills him. We got one last treat for you guys. This is the best way to conclude a run. So if you've never seen this, you're about to have your mind blown. Maybe not, maybe I'm overhyping it. But it's still cool. So using Ditman here causes Leon to use the jet ski a little bit faster than intended. As you can see there. So his animation's still bugged right now. You can see his arms aren't really, or his hands aren't really lined up too well with the jet ski. And you're gonna see this right here as we do the flip here. But now he resets back to normal. That's called the jet ski glitch. Could also be Bye Felicia. But just another fun little interaction with Ditman that we get to see at the very end of the run. And yeah, time coming up in 3, 2, 1. And that's Resident Evil 4 New Game Professional. You got like a 138. I had my timer running in the background. Still sub 140, not bad. Let's go into the final screen to see the stats. $138.21, not bad. Kind of end of the game, kind of hurt a lot. Only one death is pretty nice, given how easy it is to you know, just get comboed into a death by no Vistadors or enemies at the end of the game. But yeah, you know, thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate being here, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of Valuethon. Have a great day.